Okay, I located. Oh my goodness. Did you just see that? I located my second hand. It decided I don't like it. It spit it off. Oh goodness. The first one I dropped on the floor. The second one just said, "No, I'm spitting you out." And I think it's because of that spring down there. So, I think what I used to do, I would put the movement holder so I can grab a corner and put it in the middle of the movement and then put some pressure on that hand to get it seated a little bit. Then I can come around to the backside. I'm turning this over and it's still in place and I'm out of the shot. So what I'm going to do is lean on that just a little bit. Actually, I got to nudge it in place. See how it's sticking up a little bit? The gear's not engaged. There it is. This might be a tedious way to do it, but I've learned to do it that way. There you have it. I've learned to do it that way and it's been working fairly well. So there's our second hand. There's a little bit of movement in that balance, so it's ticking. And we're going to check alignment to make sure nothing is interfering. Can't get a good shot on that. Let's get a better shot on this with some light and focus. Okay. Just misses that second hand. That's pretty nice. That's looking pretty good, and then coming around you can see lined up how lined up everything is. I'm good with that. We're gonna go with it. So back into the case, we're gonna go get our pad, same as before. The hands are out of the way of the 9 o'clock position because we're gonna just have this off on the side a little bit. There we go. I put a finger down here just to grab it, hold on to it, push the button, release the stem. There you go. There's our movement. There's our case, in with the case and the movement. The one thing that probably doesn't get touched on, somebody has probably posted this before. I need lubrication. There we go. With this loose crown, you can push on this, and if things aren't lined up properly, you may have to rotate the stem. But if you notice, you can't rotate the stem until you pull the crown out and engage it on the crown. But as you do that, it pulls the stem out, and you're like, come on, I can't do that. If you notice, there's a little bit of a relief on this stem, and it's right there. And it allows you, or me, or anyone, to grip the stem you can, let's see if we can do this. Grip the stem, pull out on the crown, and then rotate it as you push in the stem with your tweezers. And you'll feel for it snap in. And once it goes in that far, then you know you're engaged fully. Then you can seat your stem. And I like to, while doing that, take the movement and push it in this direction to make sure it is snapped in. I did hear it snap, so I'm not too concerned about it. That's a good little bit of advice there. I don't know if anybody has shown that online before. So in case just to make sure, let's just make sure we have it in this video, because it can be frustrating when you're trying to get that stem in there and you're turning the crown, but the stem isn't engaged in the crown because you got all this stuff going on. Sometimes you hit it and you nail it first shot. Okay, if you notice, that won't go in anymore. You could push and push and push and force it. It's not going to help. So I got my pinky over here holding on to the movement or the case. I use a cheap set of tweezers to grip the stem and then push the stem or pull it into the movement in this direction. Not hard, just gently. Enough that when you pull the crown out, you engage the crown onto the stem. If you notice, I can turn that stem, and I'm turning it so it lines up with the keyless works gears. Of course, it's taking longer this time. Come on. Well, you gonna make me a liar now? You dummy. Come on. You don't have to grip the crap out of it, see? Just gently. Very gently. Now that it's in, then you can seat your crown, screw that down, and you'll hear it snap. You'll hear that nice little reassuring snap of that stem being seated. If I knew the name of the parts, I could tell you what it's engaging, but you know me. So there we have it. That's a lesson in itself. That's worth its weight in gold. All right, not really. Don't get too full of yourself there, RFG. So let's get in the shot, show everything's working. So that's working. The stem doesn't come flying out when I tug on it. I can seat it down and I can wind it up. Okay, now on to the auto winder. We just reverse the order. If you're doing a service, you're going to lubricate these. If you're just taking them apart, can't imagine it needing any lubrication, but a little bit of oil here and there probably wouldn't hurt. So here we have that first gear. I think that's a one-way. This gear goes down into this opening, and it is jeweled on the bottom of that. Important to lubricate that before you put this bridge on because it's buried down there. There's that one. Guess I should know the names of them, but not with my brain. Our reverser wheel, and the reverser you want to engage back and forth. Make sure it's engaged down there. You'll notice, because this will be sticking up over that post a little bit. Post, axle, staff, I don't know what you call it. Look at that big fuzzball. Big lint. And the same thing here. You're going to engage this reverser and this wheel. So just give things a nudge. See how everything's moving? There you go. Beautiful. Now when we set this bridge, we have 2 points. Point 1, point 2. Easy enough. We have to make sure that we're engaging and we come in with our bridge. Are we in the shot? Let's get in the shot. Let's get in the shot. Give it a wiggle, give it a tap, give it a tug. If it falls in just like that and it's nice and slick, chances are you did a good job and it's in there. Give these reversers a move, and you can see this guy move. And if you look closely, you can see this little guy move a little bit. Not much, because there's a lot of gear reduction going on. The fact that it's not standing all funny, I can see the staves coming through the jewels. You are good to go. So we can lock this up. Hopefully this is helping. I forget the gentleman's name who posted this online, and maybe I'm insulting him. He may not be a gentleman, but I'll give him the respect. It's like that old joke about the lawyer and the comedian. There was a comedian, I was at a comedy show one night, and this comic gets up and says, "You know what? All lawyers are assholes." And the crowd loved it. They're cracking up, and guy in the back gets really upset. He's annoyed. He stands up and he starts yelling at the comedian, and he says, hey, I'm offended by that. I'm offended by that joke." And the comedian said, "Why, are you a lawyer?" He says, "No, I'm an asshole." Crickets. I'm hearing crickets. I didn't hear a rim shot. Don't forget, I'm here all week. More crickets. So, we're mounting up this bridge assembly. What did I call it? A frammets? We mounted up the frammets, and the rotor is a ball bearing setup. The ball bearing right in here, and this outer gear engages that first reverser, and that's just a matter of dropping it on. Let's get it in the shot, dummy. Dropping it on, give it a turn to make sure we're engaged, and there you have it. You're engaged. These are the screws that tend to come loose whenever somebody gets a new timepiece, and they say after a few, you dummy, after a few months, hey, I got a rattling in there, and it's not the rotor. It's the, well, it is the rotor because it came loose because this screw came out. People say, you have a screw loose. I'm like, tell me something I don't know. And now, if I could only screw that in properly, maybe it was that bad joke. That bad joke did me in. Good Lord. Yeah. Don't quit your day job. Maybe it's the wrong screw. With me, anything's possible. How's it doing? Look at that. It's working. Woohoo! I'm just leaning on this. Give it a little extra tug. There you have it. Little rotico. Grab onto it. Spins around. Works good. A beautiful thing. And you can see it clicking. Where's our click? See our click? Click. Click. Does it go the other way? Yeah. I'd say it's working. Hopefully I'm not too long-winded on this. Here's our gasket. It's got a fuzzball right there, but like I said, this is one of my back burner type movements. This will be restored, well, not restored, it's already in good shape. This will be serviced up sometime. This has a cool case back with the, I guess that's the, is that a cathedral? Or is that, I don't know what those onion shaped domed buildings are. I don't know if that's a church in Moscow or Basilica. I should know, but I don't. Forgive me. But that looks cool. That looks cool. I like the way these case backs look on these. So back to tightening up, yada 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 yada. Don't quit your day job, telling jokes. So one final test before I say goodbye until next time, because I think I got something else coming in and I can start on that right away as soon as I get it. We're going to come around. I think that was noon, the noon hour. Let's see how our hand alignment worked. I think we came in at 1 minute till. Coming up slowly. There's 1 minute. Oh boy. Maybe that was the. Oh, yeah. Maybe I screwed up. Maybe I shouldn't be testing this. Are we going to come in? There it is. Let's do it again. Back to 2100. Get it in the shot. Dummy. Coming up, coming up. 1 o'clock. Very nice. Not 1 o'clock. 12 o'clock. So, there you have it. Enough of my yapping. Just be done with this. Turn it off. So, thank you again. Stay tuned.